game?
Not allowed.
My impressions of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So a true next-gen game coming hot off the heels of Returnal. I have to say, PlayStation's dominating a bit. Swinny, sorry that you have a Xbox Series X.
You're the one. You're fighting a one-side war here.
I don't actually care. This is the funny thing. I've normally owned Xbox, or like I'd more than happily buy another Xbox. So Ratchet and Clank. So just the context, I haven't played a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I played a little bit of the 2016 game. Thought it was pretty cool. I didn't really know if I wanted to pick this up or not, but I kind of on a whim went, I think Mike's not going to buy it. So look what you've done to me, Mike. So I did grab it. Quick thing though, like it's quite funny at EB Games, they automatically price match. They know me and automatically price match for me before, like they ring up the price match price.
Had that before.
Because
Really?
I make such a big deal about it.
I'm way higher level than you, not to brag or anything. And I was even on the news for EB Games, and they never did that to me. Wow,
That's
congrats.
kind of alarming too. I was just going to say it.
Anyway, so what are my thoughts on this game? So first off, man, this game is like visually just an insane treat. Like this is, I have to say it, you know, games that are developed for PS5 are going to be different to games that are developed for PS4 and PS5. And this is such a proof point of that. This game takes insane advantage of the SSD that the PlayStation 4 has. And I actually think, like, you know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, next gen, you already get that with PC. But I don't think that's true. I don't think anyone who builds PC games is assuming you have an insane quick SSD such that will just blast you through different environments that cause you to have to load heaps of data so quickly and take full advantage of that. I don't think any PC game is built like that because you can't assume someone is running like an SSD that can run the kind of bandwidth that the PS5 is running. So first off, just like the game visually looks insane. And honestly, like, you know, as a baby, for me, it's like the game is almost like too much at times. Like I started playing it and I didn't stop playing it for like 3 hours or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm like overloaded. Like the game almost has no breaks. Like you start playing and it's just like bang, bang, bang. Like cinematic sequence blurs straight into gameplay. Just stuff is pumping all the time. The rift mechanic, while being, in my view, a little bit gimmicky, is super cool the way it works and the way it looks. Like when you're actually playing it and ripping through into other worlds or just into like the small rifts in the level, it's just something that you play and see and you're like, I've never seen anything like this in a game. Like it genuinely is like a next gen type of thing. Like it's probably the only game on the PS5 where I'm just like, it's impossible to port this back to the PS4. I'm sure Sony was asking Insomniac, how can we get this on the PS4? But you just absolutely cannot. And yeah, like just, you know, it's got all the classic Ratchet and Clank stuff of like a huge amount of weaponry, the ability to upgrade, you know, skill trees, all this other kind of stuff, which is really, really cool. But one thing I think they've done really, really well with this game is, for me as a new player, I can see that what they're trying to do is create a dynamic where if you're new to the series, you don't feel like, oh my God, I've missed like 5 games and I have no clue about what these characters are. Because the rift mechanic and the idea of sort of alternate dimensions causes a situation where, say, Ratchet will go into another dimension, meet characters that he's familiar with in his dimension. So as is, like, you know, people who are longstanding fans of the series, they see that character and they go, oh, it's that blah, blah character. Oh, I know that character really well. But it's actually a different style because it's an alternate dimension, right? So it creates a dynamic where, oh, you're sort of learning that character as well. But if you already know the character, you know other information, but they sort of introduce it almost fresh for every single character because they're sort of just meeting each other for the first time in a way. Like very kind of like, I don't know if it's almost like that just emerged from the idea that they must have had around having a rift mechanic and going through dimensions. And then it's almost like a positive side effect of doing that. They're like, oh, great. From a narrative point of view, this helps us a lot with new players like me. in the Ratchet and Clank universe. As I said, I'm like about 3 hours into the game. I think looking at the trophies and all that kind of stuff, probably about 20% through the story. It's actually a really cool game. Like it's a game that, and I rarely would do this. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I might try to even platinum this game. Like I'm just really enjoying it. It's super colorful, super bright. And I have to say, after, beating Dark Souls, playing all these games that are really hard, there is something, and I could imagine if I played Returnal, there is something just nice about playing a game that you're not dying that often. And I think when you die, you lose like 1 bolt and you have like 5,000 because you just collect them so easily. Like it's basically no penalty, which honestly, I think it's fine. And there's stacks of like accessibility features. So you can make the game way harder, way easier, turn things off and on. Like, yeah, Insomniac are just absolutely dominating from a PlayStation Studio perspective. They're really carrying the first year of the PlayStation 5 with Miles Morales and now Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So, no, really love this game. It's really cool so far. Hoping to beat it soon.
Hoping
and then
to borrow it off you when you finish.
and then, yeah, like I'd probably do a review, and probably not next week just because, all the E3 stuff. We'll see how we go, but maybe the week after I'll do a review of the game.
Everything I've heard this week about people talking about this game, it sounds like they've just absolutely nailed it, and it seems like almost like a front runner for Game of the Year at this point.
I think it's almost a lock for the top 6 because I'm just thinking about like the pipeline of games this year as well. I think it just fills a spot that I would normally put like a Mario Odyssey or something along those lines.
Can you save it for 2031 when we're doing GOSO of 2021? Just talk about it then, please.
Yeah, I think this game, I think Returnal is a real good chance of being in the top 6, just from everything I'm hearing from people. And it's almost a slow burn for a lot of people as well. For me, we don't really do scores and stuff like that. To me, it's like, it feels like a solid like 9 out of 10 so far. There's just something about it that it doesn't have. It has so much polish. I cannot explain how much polish this game has. But having said that, there's maybe something about it that's just, it just doesn't quite hit those heights for me of being like something like a 10 out of 10 game. But like, I'm very clear like this is an amazing game, right? Like, and it's an awesome game. It feels like a must have if you've got a PS5. It's just, it just shows off the tech, man. And honestly, I'm not like being, facetious about this. Like I genuinely think people haven't made a game like this on the PC because of the SSD. It's actually quite almost exhausting the way the tech works of pulling through other dimensions and stuff like that because there's just no load screens. And I'm just not used to it. I'm not used to just being able to go, okay, we're into another world. Oh, now we're in a dinosaur type planet. Mm-hmm. Oh, now we're in like a space and sci-fi type setting. It's like I was almost like overloaded with the colors and the dynamic nature of the game. And it uses great like features around the dual sense, like the vibration and everything, because it's all been built from scratch with that. The one thing I will say is that is starting to kind of annoy me a little bit. And I've never been a fan of this because I'm maybe just not that good of a gamer, but when games do the whole thing of like, you pull the trigger a little bit and it's one function, you pull it all the way through, it's a different function. This game uses that a lot. Yeah,
Returnal did that too.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It takes a little bit to get used to.
Yeah.
Because instinctively you're just like...
Correct. And then also if you're in a oh shit moment, you're like just bang, pull it and maybe that's not what I wanted to do. It's not a huge penalty. It's just, I'm not the biggest fan of how that works. I know what you mean, yeah.
So it sounds like the game has a lot of polish, not a lot of Romanian, not a lot of Hungarian.
Okay, you say that, which is really weird that you said that. I went into the options because I needed to turn the subtitles on, right? And the first option, I don't know if it's like a bug or my copy or what. The first option is like turn on Croatian subtitles. I was like, what?
Interesting.
Why is this the first option?
The only thing I can think of is it's the first language on the list. Because I'm assuming Albanian is probably not as popular.
But it doesn't work like that. It's not like the next one is Polish. It's only Croatian, and then the next line is turn on subtitles. It was something like turn on Croatian text. And I was like,
I don't know.
huh? Like what? Like is this some
should
weird
play it in
PS5
Croatian,
thing?
see what it's like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I may not be able to get out of it. Yeah, no, it's a really cool game, Mike. I know that you're doing your whole, not buying any games, but it is a shame because I think you'd enjoy this game.
Can I borrow it? Legit.
I mean, Sydney, you're in Melbourne. How's that going to work?
I'll pay for postage.
I'm not
Loophole.
going to send
No,
it down.
I'm not buying the game. I'm just paying postage for something.
First of all, that is not a resolution. We're not holding you to you not buying games. That's just
It's self-imposed resolution.
Yes, your self-imposed resolution.
I think you should break it for this. This is a good game.
Nah, I don't know. No. Because look, anyway, we'll talk about it aside. I think it's a good opportunity to finally focus on my backlog. There's a lot of really good games I've missed out on.
Sure. And,
Mike, did you even have Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
Yeah, I have it.
You should be playing that.
I know, I should be. Well, I did. I started playing it. But
then you stop?
again, there's just so much stuff to play. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, because I bought so many games on special. I never got around to it. I've got Metro Exodus on Xbox, the Aurora edition, and I have it on PC as well, and haven't even touched it. So
I'm pretty sure that was free on Epic Games.
maybe that's how I got it.
That's why I'm also trying not to buy games too much if I'm not about to play them, because you buy a game and then it ends up being free anyway, like
exactly
half a year later. So anyway,
we're digressing.
Very
Ratchet
cool
Clank
game.
sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm actually
awesome.
looking forward to playing this one. It's a shame. I feel like I can't get it, but it looks amazing.
And
So
I'd highly recommend it as a chaser to if you're playing a lot of tough games like Returnal or Dark Souls or Bloodborne or whatever. Like it's nice to just play a game. It feels like a video game. I know it sounds dumb to say that, but it feels like a big blockbuster popcorn video game. And you sometimes just need those. You don't need these like insane games all the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the final feature for the show. Game Builder Garage. So this is the final game that you're allowed to buy for